Hello and welcome. Today is a big day if you are a Star Trek fan. It is official, and of course Ninjago as well, but we're going to be covering Star Trek to start with because there is lots and lots to get through. The Star Trek Enterprise is out and about. We are currently going up against the Lego group themselves, who are just revealing this set with over 20,000 viewers. But me and Jay, well, we're going to be different and we're going to tuck in. Hello to Shibo in the comments as well. Good afternoon to everybody. There is a poll running as per normal, which we'll get tucked into in a second. But I think we'll get our very, very special guest on very quickly. But I think somebody might be rather excited. So, Mr. J's Toy Collection UK. How are we doing and how excited are we?
Hello, may the force be with you. What a great announcement it's been today. Oh dear, that's the wrong franchise.
That is the wrong one. Yes.
That's not one. Well, I thought I was here to talk about the Razor Crest. Did you know?
Well, we might be speaking about that at the very, very end. So, yes, we are going up against 20,000 people currently. There is a Lego live stream running regarding the sets. And actually, there's a lot more detail on this than I thought there was with regards to they've actually added in the greenhouse section and other little bits and pieces, which Jay will have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about until he gets to that episode. So it's fine. Now, before we start and look at the photos, because Jay hasn't had time to listen to any of the live stream yet, the designer has just said they have taken windows away because less is more and it looked too busy. It took them 11 months to develop this set, and that is a reason why the saucer looks how it does. And apparently they did not waste anything on the budget. They spent as much money as possible on the prints and had to put stickers where they had to. And that's as far as I've got, because they were waffling and waffling and waffling and waffling. But yes, and they've added new sections on this set as well. So what we are going to do is, Jay, I think, is extremely excited. Like I said, there is a poll running. We are going to get straight on to the Lego website and we are just going to tuck in. So Jay, what are your thoughts with the first things that you have seen?
Well, I literally finished work. I saw the images come out early as you've been messaging me during all my meetings of the afternoon. So I quickly put a video together on the subject. I've got a tape measure out. We'll cover that in a second. And Lego might have 20,000 people, but we're already in double figures.
Yes, we hit double digits quickly. Yeah. Thanks for liking the video, everybody, as well. Muchly appreciated.
So yes. Star Trek, a thing that I hadn't even watched until 6 months ago. But since then, I've already made space for this particular set. And when the leaked images came out, we were both a little concerned. However, now the official images are out. I think this looks pretty good. I am pretty excited for this set. That is an understatement. So as you share a fish tank so far, get that out of here. And let's get this on the screen. There it is. Look at this bad boy. I think this looks really, really good. I'll let you do your technical spiel if you'd like to start with the particulars there.
Okay, so the basic nonsense as per normal. You are looking at the Star Trek U.S.S. Enterprise, and it is the NCC 1701D. Yes, that is a tongue twister. Now, instantly, you can see how many minifigures it comes with. I'll cover that with Jane in a little bit. It is $349.99, and it is coming on Black Friday, which is the 28th of November. As you come down, it is 3,600 pieces, item number 10356, and it has 9 minifigures. And of course, it's not just that, because it does have a giveaway purchase. Now, we will actually go straight to the giveaway first, and then we'll come back, because we have got this, which has, of course it will do, of all the giveaways over the year, it comes with an exclusive minifigure, which is actually quite important to the actual set itself. Now, if anybody is watching this on the replay, me and Jay are going to cover this live together for the first sort of half an hour. Then Jay's got skedaddle, and then I will roll into all of the Ninjago bits and pieces. So, Jay, are you a fan of the giveaway purchase?
I think it's a very strong giveaway here. I think that shuttle, 260 pieces, if I do recall reading it earlier on. You get 261,
you are correct.
Yeah, you get the exclusive Row minifigure as well. She's got pretty good face printing, because I did take a bit of a detailed look at that myself earlier. But it's a strong GWP, a nice shuttle. It's got a decent size to it. Looks to be a decent build. Again, it's going down that saw the path of something that's kind of key to the set being included as GWP, just like the Death Star, to try and entice you to buy day one. But I think the Star Trek fans out there are going to go for it, including myself, because I'm going to want this thing. So you're going to have to pay full price for the set to actually get this giveaway, because I think this could be quite a pricey one on the aftermarket. So I think if you can afford to go in day one, you're potentially going to get a decent saving on this. But Lego, of course, the thing I picked up, I was thinking myself earlier, was Lego like to release a big set on Black Friday. Now, usually the point of Black Friday, you can get all the nice cheap sale sets, but no, we're going to get you for a full price one as well.
Yeah,
but I do think the actual giveaway is very strong.
To be fair, I think we always have a good sort of discussion and everything else with regards to giveaway purchases throughout the year. Some people think they've been a little bit weak throughout the year and everything else, but this is probably the most important giveaway of the year. And I don't care what anybody said about the Goonies poll that we did the other day. I can't understand how they think the Goonies one's more important than this, but each to their own. But this seems to be a bit of a flip reverse with regards to the actual Enterprise itself, because the Enterprise itself, there is actually some little micro build hidden within one or two of the panels, which is nice. And that's where the ship comes off, which we'll speak about with Jane in a little bit. But this is a complete flip reverse. So if you haven't seen the inside of this yet, it is actually detailed on the inside with Easter eggs as well with regards to different bits and pieces. So the easy way of seeing it is this thing just here. Now, straight away, you might be wondering what the hell is on that control panel. Now, if Jay doesn't understand what's on that control panel, there is one episode, which is episode 24 of season 5, which is where she only has the one encounter with this specific team where they think her and a certain individual has also died. Now, that is the only relation I can think of why that is on the actual panel, because I was umming and ahhing why she's with that when she is only technically with the one episode. But the actual set and what I think Jay will like it, which is actually called a warbird, and it is an incredible looking thing as well. I think Jay would actually like that in Lego form, because that would just be amazing. It's like just a big, vicious ship, and you can tell by the shape on that thing as I zoom in just what that, well, you can see it's a big thing. But I do believe you can fit her in it. Yes, okay, again, it's flip reverse with regards to the amount of stickers and everything, but this seems to have a little bit of detail in it compared obviously to the Enterprise. So do you think it's a good trade-off, Jay, that the Enterprise is a display piece and then the giveaway purchase has sort of more of a display internally, as well as being quite important? Because if you have noticed, they have yet to announce the price of what this giveaway purchase is valued at.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to guess they're going to say $24.99. I'm going to put my guess out there now of what they say that one will be. Yeah, because the ship itself, clearly not in full minifigure scale, because it would be utterly humongous, but the gift with purchase does look like much more of a minifigure scale, because you can actually fit the figure in there. I guess the reference is to season 5, because she doesn't actually debut until season 5, because I had to look her up earlier, because I was like, who on earth is she? So so she is in there, I guess, for that reason as well. So I think, as I think she both just said in the chat there, it's an absolutely stunning set with a great GWP, no doubt, regardless of the price, of course. So I think that it's a very, very strong gift for purchase. And it's also talking there, will it go the way of Schmeagol and Deagle, all the way of the Fell Beast? Because that Fell Beast, I am a lucky owner of a Fell Beast. It was literally my first thing I purchased in Lego was the Lord of the Rings Barad-dûr with the Fell Beast, and that thing was nearly £200 on the aftermarket at one point. So I don't think it'll go that high, but this could probably be I'm going to guess about £70 GWP, because a lot of them sell for about 30 or 40. But I think this one might be double that.
I reckon this. Excuse me. I reckon this might be on the website, and I'm gonna say it now. I think it's going to be $21.99. They're going to value this at, because the Goonies was $17.99. They valued it as a giveaway purchase. So I think with the detail on it and the actual minifigure itself, it is. I'm sure people would query why certain minifigures have been added into the main lineup and other ones haven't been, but it's literally the longevity of all the characters you see are kind of in the show the most, because I did give Jay some bad news about 2 days ago. I did ask him to watch a certain episode because Jay's favourite character, and he didn't realise this, about 23 episodes in on season 1, who everybody really liked, just gets killed off. And I genuinely thought that was going to be the minifigure as the giveaway, because I thought that would be really nice. But we have got her, which it is what it is. Everybody that's a Star Trek
I was not very happy. I thought I was going to watch a nice episode about a trombone, but no. Yar is absolutely felled off. So in my own video, my good friend Rich M. Displayed Once, the co-host of Mr. Dan Who, has joined my campaign for justice for Yar, as he also said, why have we got Ro? We could have Yar. So yes, we need Natasha Yar some point in a Lego set in the future. We're going to have to start a campaign here right now to get some justice for her, because I think she looked very cool. It was a nice little blonde, short haircut in a Lego minifigure.
Yeah, I think that out of all the figures, that she's the one that would have been quite nice as a giveaway. If this is not a one and done, they have potentially got the opportunity to do that later on, but Jay just needs to get much further on, and then he might understand the reasoning why. Because of course, when they start to not get thin in ideas, but we always have a backstory to every character a few seasons down. And funny enough, who might show up before she actually joins the Enterprise, so she might make some surprise cameos throughout pre sort of death. But yeah, the shuttle pod itself is a nice looking thing, I think. And as Shibo said, and I keep forgetting to put all your comments on the screen because I'm on the other software. Yes, I think it's going to be a very, very interesting thing. And I think it is going to be very, very sought after. Because I can see people displaying this quite nicely with regards to, where it is and what it is they're going to do. However, I did put a poll up asking what you're most excited about with regards to Ninjago, Star Trek, the New Year 3 sets, or Iron Man. And it is a complete mix. It's tight for Ninjago and Star Trek and the New Year's set. In fact, all of them. So it's all very, very tight at the moment. So I'll let that poll run as we go, and we'll basically see what happens. But let's jump straight over, Jay, to the actual set itself. Now, it's always nice. Obviously, we always have our own opinions straight away. And people go, oh, it could be better with this. It could be better with that, and yada, yada, yada. But the designer has literally, as I was listening to it, made it very, very clear that he has maximized his budget that he was allocated to the extreme to do what he can do. And he did say he's basically shrunk it down so it flows a little bit more. So that's basically what it is. Whereas it could have been sort of a little bit bigger, but then it would have been out of that sort of price scale, is what I can gather. Now, looking at it from this angle, if I was to get it, I think I would display it back end first. It's going to take some getting used to. I'm not saying it's bad, but I think it's going to get some used to, because they have done what they've done on the Death Star. If we take a look at the back, and they have made that as smooth as you like. And you can also see that they've been very, very clever. And it looks like they've got all the little windows in. Obviously, they're not windows, but they make it out that there's windows around there. And it gives that illusion that there's windows there. And again, as we go up through the sort of the center bit there.
A new printed tile for the black
yeah,
windows.
That's it. And again, well, with this, it kind of looks like is that a print on the tile, or is that actually the pieces back to back to give it a gap? It looks to me like it's the gap between the Lego bricks.
Be a gap. There's definitely the tiles on the rim of the actual.
So the tiles on the rim is Trigger Bricks. Good afternoon to you. So the tiles on the rim is tiled, and that gives the window effect. But the bit on the back, I do believe, is a technique of just bricks, where it gives the illusion like it's got windows, which I think is very, very clever. And you can see
that's making me think straight away light kit. If you can get a light kit in those gaps.
Yeah, that's it. If you can get a light kit, yeah, exactly that. If you can get a light kit in there, or you could do something with the blue engines, or do something, I think literally from the saucer backwards, you can say what you like about the actual scale. It's a very, very clever, technically built thing. Now, I was umming and ahhing about the front of the saucer. And I was like, oh, well, it would have been nice to have X, Y, Z. But if you look at the pieces that they've used for the actual studs, they don't actually have them in a tile setting. So they've clearly given us brand new windows around the outside. And they've also given us brand new parts usage. There's 2 new parts on the front of this. I think it's these over here, Joe, on the left-hand side. They're the longest ones they've done So there's 2 new longer tiles that they've added to this. So originally I was like, oh, the back end looks a lot better than the front, but now the front end is starting to grow on me because the studs give illusion of those windows as well. And that middle bit there, I think they've done a fantastic job now of the actual colouring, because they said that was an absolute nightmare to try and get anywhere near close. So are you, Jay, excited about what is on screen at the moment?
Yes, 100%. So again, as I said, when the leaked images come out, because you can't really zoom in on them, it did look like a flat plate. And I'm like, oh, if I done that for, where's the depth? But then when the real ones come out, you can suddenly see the way they've actually used the techniques here to actually get some depth into the top and bottom of the dish piece. So it is what I was hoping for. You can get some actual depth and perspective to that. So I'm actually quite impressed with how they've done it, because Lego does not own itself well to a circular shape. And this is literally a dish, and you have bricks that are rectangles, flat and square, and they've managed to actually, I think, capture the best they could a circular shape out of this. And I think a lot of those comments I saw the other day of, oh, this doesn't look particularly good, have now changed their minds from what I've seen. The same as myself, they're going, oh yes, this is what we wanted. This is actually really, really good. And it's a fairly decent size when we get into the measurements as well. It's not your Star Wars U.S. scale, but it's definitely not tiny. It's going to take up pretty much a whole shelf that would go behind me actually as well. So I think they've done well. There's lots of prints, so I couldn't actually see any stickers at all. It all looked printed to me, but obviously you've said from the
so basically he pointed out, so the ones underneath where we've got the NCC 1, that's a sticker. Those 2 there are stickers. Right. You can see it is. I didn't get to the bottom of it on the video, but I've just spotted those 2, and I think he was saying about the bits and pieces on top. Now, I potentially that one on top. That one on top is a print. Yes, but I think so, because they were pointing it out, going, they had to do it for the most important one. So you've got everything around the outside is obviously a new printed tile. The actual sort of like ring that they've added as well, that is not new, but it's a different length that they've had to do as well. And what this thing here with the QR code sort of weird looking thing up there, which looks like to me that is another sticker, because you can see it around the outside on the grey, that is actually to represent the greenhouse that is on board the Enterprise. So that is what you would see externally in the actual TV show, and that greenhouse is enormous, and it does feature quite a lot in a lot of episodes as well. So there is quite a lot of Easter eggs on here, but just going from the actual dish, obviously where that separates, you can see how you've got completely different parts usage, because look how smooth they have made it from literally there. And what they've managed to, because they've done that very, very similarly to the actual Death Star as well. And it is a really clean finish that they've managed to do on that. But you can see all the layering. You can see how nice it looks. Like Jay said, if you can get a light kit on this, I think you might be well away.
Yeah, I know quite a lot of massive Star Trek fans, including the man on screen. And I think they've actually done this one justice. I think this has come out very, very well indeed. I think it's going to make an awful lot of people happy that they're going to have a Star Trek set with some really good minifigures that we'll get into. And there's a great photo there of showing a bit more of the depth. That's the one you want. That is the one you want to lead with there. Yeah. The one on the box isn't the greatest.
But you just beat me to it. I was about to say they have used one of the worst images possible for the box artwork. But that, if you can get it at that angle, I think you are absolutely laughing with regards to it being on display.
That really shows the depth there, doesn't it? That really does show it off. And those colours of the red and the blue will pop. And it's it's the lighter grey colour. So I think some lighting on this and the shadows you can create, this is actually going to look, it's going to look really good on display. I think this is going to be a really good seller, actually.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a strong one. I think it's going to be a good seller, isn't it? Let's be honest. So, before we go into all the other images and then have a look at the minifigures, we will jump straight over to Jay's mathematical brain, because with regards to the actual cost of this, what do you think value-wise this relates to everything else that we've had this year? So this is £350 and it's 3,600 pieces. So Jay, take it away.
Take it away. Well, you're lucky. You're lucky. I did the maths earlier for my own
Well, I knew
video.
you go to, yeah.
So let's cover the initial leak the other day. It somehow leaked in South Korean won, I think was the currency it leaked in, and that converted to about 300, which seemed a bit low, but that's probably because there's no tax chucked on top of that. So I'd always guessed when the piece count leaked at 3,600 piece, because that leaked like 6 months ago. I was like, oh, it's probably going to be in around the 350 range, hoping, but thought it might go to 400. So the other day, again, more information came out. And again, this seems to be incorrect because the information of the day came out at 370. And that was from obviously some of the more well-known sort of Lego fan media and stuff said 370. So I was like, oh, a little bit more than I was hoping for, 370. And then it comes out today, 350. So I, for one, was pleasantly surprised. So if you want to do price per piece, which I know you like, I've done it. It's 9.7 pence a piece. So it's effectively your 10p Lego. So there's no, which for these days is pretty much the average. Yeah. Same as the Death Star was coming in around that. So the price per piece, in my opinion, for what Lego is these days, I think they've got that pretty much spot on. We've seen sets out there at 16p a piece. So at 350, I think that is priced spot on for the amount of Lego you get. And especially for me, because I've got over £100 of points I've been saving all year for this. So I can probably get this for just over £200. So I'm going to be one very happy boy on Black Friday. Indeed. Glad I held my points for the whole year to get to this.
Yeah, that's it. Well, the fact that it's coming in at just under 10 pence a brick and the bigger pieces as well, and the new pieces that they've added, it's a credit that I guess that they've had to, you know, the designer has done what he can to give the most out of it. I would honestly like to see this happen every year with more bits and pieces with regards to, you know, whatever. And I think it's also going to be one of those in store. That there is like, yeah, that's exactly how it should look like. There's nothing wrong with that at all. The fact that obviously there's no millions of windows, but if we zoom in, you can see that they have left all these little square bits up at the bottom. You can see that on the both sides, just like it is on the actual ship itself. So yeah, when he's saying less is more, I can kind of see now if he was trying to add in all of these sort of printed pieces of thousands of small black windows, it could have been a bit over the top. So they've gone for that's the view you want to have it from, or you look at it from the back. Might be a little bit odd from underneath until you sort of get over the fact of what it all is. But apparently, Mr. Tricklebricks, his Goonie set has arrived already today. So congratulations to you, Tricklebricks, because that set looks fantastic as well. And Tricklebricks is getting this set because of the day one giveaway. So yeah, I think you're right with regards to that. And how important it is. But this poll is extremely tight because Ninjago and Star Trek are drawing, and the New Year's sets, which there's 3 of, has actually now taken the lead. So I know that is an extremely popular theme as well. Now, if you're wondering what I've been talking about, it does remove. So if you would like to use this as a frisbee, you can take it off and launch it at somebody, which I would imagine that there would be quite an interesting. Well, you could get some force behind that. But this is also where the little tiny baby shuttle is hidden. So where there's a removable latch, but there's also a panel that you can remove, and you will see a tiny little white shuttle that is just there, which also does look, in all fairness, very, very good from all those bits and pieces. Obviously, you can see it does come with a Lego Technic stand. So, Jay, you were saying about the size before. With regards to size and length, how many? Where did you get to? It's just over 2 base plates?
It is. So if you go to they made it randomly, didn't put it at the top. You've got to go to the specifications tab, sir. Yeah. And there's a little graphic. But once again, the Lego team have failed you miserably because they give you 2 different numbers in 2 different places. So I have done the actual maths, though. So you're okay. So it's not 11 inches tall, people. It's 10.5 inches tall, which they do say in the description and is written on the box. But it is not written there. So it's 10.5 inches tall, so just over a base plate standing up in height. Your width there is 19 inches, so that is just under by a smidge 2 base plates of width. And what they're calling depth is really the length. So it is 24 inches, 60 centimeters. So that's 2.5 base plates long by 2 base plates wide is what you're going to be doing here. So that is a fairly decent size, I think, for a £350 set.
Yeah, I'm just reading the description basically for the first time because I've gone into this a little bit blind with different bits and pieces, but it does also include the 2 shuttle pods. So this set, as you can see, it's got the 2 shuttle pods with the 9 minifigures and themed accessories. So there is the shuttle pods on there, and you can see just there, look, where that panel removes on the back end is where it lands in its little docking bay. So they have added like a little micro scale build just above and behind the greenhouse where that piece also does come off. But there's obviously no bridge and there is nowhere to put the minifigures, which you get them. It's one of those, isn't it? It's like, do you want all the minifigures we've got, or would this be in the scenario where you could have lost a few and maybe had a different panel where it had the bridge? But I think if this is going to be a one and done, they have given us almost every minifigure that we would want, almost, apart from Jay, exactly. And there's one minifigure that I can see why it's there, but also I would rather have not had it, to be honest, and it just been teamed up with something else. So that leads us on to the actual minifigures, which I think is going to have quite a bit of value in. So Jay, are you liking forget who the characters are, but do you like the look and the design of the figures?
Yes, I do. I think again, you're going to have a lot of different values in this set. That GWP could go for a bit, and you're going to have a lot of Star Trek collectors out there, I suppose, that don't have room. Just general Star Trek collectors don't have room for the massive Enterprise, but might want a little set of these minifigures. So again, I think you're going to have some value within these. So the prints, I think, are very, very strong. You've got the dual arm printing on most of the figures there as well. Nothing on the legs, but in the show they don't really wear much on the legs.
They don't have anything on the legs. No, the legs are the same color. That's it.
So you got a trombone accessory. You got some phasers. I can see there they've got like a new little print for a phaser by the looks of it. I think the ladies are the ones that are standing out for me. I think Deanna Troi is my favorite minifigure. I can see there in a little pink outfit, and I think Dr. Beverly Crusher there in the blue is looking rather tasty in a minifigure form.
That's it. She looked almost as accurate as what you could be. So basically, what they've done is they've given us all the minifigures, apart from Wesley, that is on the front cover for the Netflix show. So when you go onto Netflix and they're all on the bridge wrapped around, that's where they all are. But it is quite interesting that they've given us why I said about the minifigures with the longevity of the show as such, because Whoopi doesn't come in until episode 1 of series 2, but that is the season where Beverly, due to issues with directors and stuff, was actually not in it for the second show. She wasn't in it at all. Season 2, she's on Earth. She's not even part of it. And then she comes back in series 3. So I think they might have tried to get another really strong female lead with, in all fairness, the other Doctor that replaces her. But of all of the characters, these two on the edge would possibly be the ones up for debate, where you could have maybe tagged them out and brought potentially somebody else in, just one, like one for one, because they have given us Wesley, which I think is from the first season, because that he has his weird gun thing. And I'm not too sure if that's not too far in after the romping episode that they do, and he has that weird thing, and it all gets a little bit steamy, and Data gets sort of a bit of action as well. But
new pieces there, isn't there? The Wolf's head must be new.
Yeah. So with regards to the printing elements and stuff, he's got a full new print for his head. That's the first time they've done that piece. That phase a bit, like you said, must be new. He's obviously got his trombone. He's got his data pad, so he does all the little bits and pieces. She's got her scanner for the medical stuff. She's just got some random bits and pieces. Picard has got a cup of tea. Data, I think, looks good as well with regards to him looking like actually Data, because they've got the skin tone right. He's sort of like an off-white color as well. And obviously the cat looks good. Whoopi looks great. And what she's holding, I think, is quite important, because she's not in. It's weird because with her character, and this is the reason why I was like, well, potentially it would have been nice to have had your character in, Jay, rather than Whoopi. But Whoopi is in like series 2, and then she's in and out of it throughout of all of them. But she's also in all the films. She's in like 2 of the films. So it's very bizarre usage of her character. So I can see why they've used all of them. And you get everybody that is needed to a point. So I can see why they've done it. But you say the female's your favorite?
I think so. I think I like the ladies out of this set. I think Picard looks fantastic. I know Cheeky Monkey is a fan of Picard. I think he looks very good there. And they've done the nice black angle on the bottom of the torso as well. That is correct for the show. So that looks very nice indeed. So a strong selection of minifigures. It's just the fact you don't have a bridge to put them in. But I think they would struggle with the internals of the ship. So my thinking, of course, is there's going to be a diorama in the future of a bridge. So I can imagine they've probably held off because that is what they're going to do to give you a bridge play set. But yeah, overall, pretty happy.
Well, with regards to the actual, if they wanted to build up more figures, obviously all of the characters are in these colors, so it's not like they've been given special colors. The whole cast is in it. But then if they wanted to do different things and different bits and pieces, they are in civilian clothing quite a lot in different episodes throughout the whole thing, and there's lots of different episodes that they could do bits and pieces on. So yeah, I think they've tried to tick somewhere every single box for everything, and they've given us as much detail as they possibly could in this sort of scale that they've gone for. And the nice thing is it keeps it out of a Razor Quest or a Falcon U.S.S size price. So they've gone for that sort of price to part kind of thing. And we have got Trickle Bricks is saying between this and the Goonies, Lego has given us 2 for the boys from the film Stand By Me. There we go. Didn't know that. That I did not know. So are you a fan of the film Stand By Me?
I do like Stand By Me, another 80s classic. So very
don't
nice.
Even think I've heard of it. I was wrapped up then. I didn't watch much telly way back when. Right, let's go back. Oh, that'd be why then. Yeah, fair enough. That'll be why. Right, we'll torpedo through the photos, so because there's 20 of them. So we'll literally go from 1 all the way through to 20, and then Jay has to get going because I'm conscious of the time. So that is what it looks like on the stand with the minifigures. The plaque is also a full print, not a sticker. It does look nice because obviously they've gone for a square rather than a rectangle, and they've gone for obviously all the printing around the outside. You a fan of the stand, Jay?
Yes, I'm a fan of the stand. You can get a nice bit of angle in. If you want to see a full tape measure of the stand and will this fit in the collection, I'll link you to my video in the chat because I was down there doing a bit of measuring earlier.
Oh, well, and what do you think of it? Top half. Happy with that? Now we've seen it in proper color.
Yeah, I think the top half looks very strong, especially the back end there as well comes through nicely. I think overall they've done a strong job with that there.
That's it. I mean, the stand's just basic. It's what it needs to be. They've gone, and the nice thing is, and what I appreciate, the stand's not going to take up that much space because sometimes the stands are the other way around and they're really quite long. But that looks like they've just added on 2 little extra feet to give it a bit of balance, and they've taken a little bit of length away, which is quite nice. But they did. I think if I heard that rightly, it's 1.5 kilos in weight. But I'm not too sure if it's the whole thing or just this dish. But you can see there, look, that piece is the bit that removes, and there's the little 2 shuttles. So you've got the one shuttle is the pin for it to actually remove, and then you can grab it, I do believe, by the other shuttle. So that's how they've tried to do it. That's the minifigures that me and Jay's looked at. And then this is what Jay was saying before. So it's 23.5 inches by 10.5. And then obviously it does look meaty, actually. That's the first time I've seen that photo in hand. It's quite a chunky dish, to be fair.
Yeah, it's going to take up my entire space that I've got there. It's going to take up you know what space. But I'll as I leave in a second, I'll rejoin on my way out, and I'll show you a little. I'll go on the phone so you can see behind the scenes of where it's going to go, and you'll see how much
definitely.
It will take up.
But we'll go through the last 5 photos. So that it's just a slip-on stand, so it's nice and simple. So there's no pins or anything nonsense like that to remove. Whereas some of them we know that's a lie. Is that a pin that locks it in? I would have hoped. Oh, you can pull that pin out to release it because some of them obviously locked in on the stand and you can't get them off. A bit like the Venator. That is another photo, obviously, of both the shuttles. There's a better look at the U.S.S. Enterprise plaque, which looks good. So yeah, to be honest, I mean that photo as well. That's beautiful. You can't go wrong. You can't go wrong with that. I mean, obviously, you can see that probably photo. You can kind of see how they've kind of squished it and shrunk it down a little bit, where they could have made the engines a little bit longer and it might have had a bit of an overhang more on the engine and yada yada yada. But he said he's tried to go for a sleek, elegant, flowing design, is what the designer worded it as. And in all fairness, you can see that I think they've nailed that spot on. So anything you need to say, Jay, before we got to go? Because I know you need to skedaddle.
I do. So, yes, I say I'll rejoin briefly from downstairs so you can see me down there. But if I would appreciate any, I don't usually cover a lot of Lego on the channel as the side hobby, but there is a video up, so it's in the chat. You can click the link. Appreciate any watches or comments on that one. Let me know if you're going to get it day one in that video. But of course, you can find me as it says on the screen at Jay's Toy Collection UK. Another day for a Lego release, and we're literally a couple of weeks away from the Black Friday release.
We are indeed. So, Jay, goodbye, and thank you very much to you. So enjoy, and obviously you'll jump back in before you go, so I'll still be on here, because what we are going to be doing now is we're going straight to Ninjago. So we are going back into the Ninjago bits and pieces, because the Star Trek is only the start of all the announcements. So if you are a Ninjago fan, we are now going to tuck in to all of that. So this is what we are going to be looking at now. There's lots of new arrivals, lots of new bits and pieces on here. So you can see that this is the live stream with regards to all the bits and pieces that are going on. And then they've added, excuse me, all of the new bits and pieces. And that's what the poll is all about. So there are 3 new sets. So you've got the Fortune Master. And then as you start coming down, you've got the other 2. And you've got the Tulip Bouquet as well. But I think these are very, very, very good. So in fact, what we'll do, to be fair, we'll click on all of them and then we'll finish on the Ninjago Blacksmith, because I think it does look very smart. So this one I've yet to click on. So I have absolutely no idea what this one is all about with regards to anything, because it has literally just been uploaded. So this is yours for $24.99, coming on the 1st of January 2026. It is item number 40864. You get 386 pieces. So you can see, again, like the other 2 that I've already seen, they are just big, detailed display models, which are region specific. But if you're wondering why they're on the UK website, Lego came out a year or 2 ago and said that they will not do isolated Lego releases anymore, because this line had actually been out for a good amount of time, but they were also exclusive to the Legoland parks. And now they are out and about, available on obviously the Lego website, as you can see. So there's lots of different bits and pieces going on with that one, and then they get more detailed. So that's coming soon. The other 2 I think I'm about to click on are available for pre-order. Yeah, these 2 are. So this is the Galloping Horses canvas, and again you get things like 1,650 pieces for $89.99. You get 2 nice little minifigures on it. Now, these sets are known for lots of minifigures at around this price point. So I think they haven't gone up too much. I think they were about £79 if you start to look and backtrack some of the sets. But you did get quite a lot of minifigures in them. Now, this one is obviously more of a display piece, where you've just got the 2 minifigures that are included. And you can see you've got all the different horses. You've got those 2 minifigures, which do look very good, and you can see you've got all the printed tiles, and you've always got working mechanisms in all the different bits and pieces, and you can see that it is aimed at a different region, hence why you've got different actors and actresses and all that kind of thing, because obviously it is the Chinese New Year. But the next one that we're about to click on is where all the minifigures are. So you have got 3 different choices for different bits and pieces. So as we come down, try it again, as we go back to come down, don't mess with me around. There we go. We are here, and this one actually has quite a lot of minifigures in it. It might not look like it does for $69.99, and it's got a fortune cracker, but there are 4 minifigures, or 5, sorry, 5 really nice looking minifigures just here, which you would imagine, and I said this before, that I think some of these will have brand new prints on. So I think the big one and the small one look like they've got identical tops on, which is for probably the first time ever. So yeah, we're just watching they announced it all before, so the reveal was a little bit bizarre, because it's been on the Lego website for about 3 or 4 hours. So yeah, it's a bit of an interesting one. Right, we're going to put pause on the Ninjagos. I can see there's a man with an Avengers tower. So Jay, you are live again. Welcome and hello.
Hello. Can you hear me?
We can, yes. You are on the J cam, and I am going to go. So you're going to go solo. So it is all you.
Right. Well, here I am. Hello, everybody. I've walked downstairs. I'm in the garage, also known as the Lego room. So we've been talking about the Star Trek Enterprise, and this is where it's going to go. It's not quite going to go in the X-Men and the Avengers display, but it is going to go above it. So what I tried to do is have sort of like the Lego City on the tables here. Daily Bugle still under construction, But if we come over to this side, we raise up. So you take the Avengers Tower, we come up, we go all the way to the ceiling, and we pan across. We come to space, the final frontier itself. So we have a top shelf here, which is actually an IKEA lac coffee table, where I've got the Lego CMF space figures. We've got the grey base plates laid down, and we've got all the space stuff ready, and there is the ceiling. So the question is that gap 10.5 inches tall? And then the Enterprise will be looking out over the city from the depths of space.
Very. So are you gonna? So I'll get everything back on the screen now. So are you gonna go engines facing, or are you gonna go front facing?
I will probably go front facing. The front facing the city, like it's supposed to be flying over the city, is what I'll go, because you'll be able to see the engines from the backside as well. If it is a gap there of 10.5 inches.
And you've had the tape measure out, so it's going to be a bit tight, is it?
It's well, that would be a spoiler, sir. So you're going to have to tune in to Jay's Twitter to find out, because the first 5 minutes of that video is getting the tape measure out.
Well, what I'm more intrigued about is once you actually build it by 2030 and you actually get on a step ladder, do you actually have the angle to get it on? Because you're going to have to put it in completely on the stand flush, so you haven't got any wiggle room whatsoever. So if you've got to go over to come back down, I am very, very intrigued just with how tight your gap is going to be, sir.
Well, you'll have to find out, sir. So I will leave you all on that cliffhanger, and the link's in the description, so you can go and check out if it will fit and if I'll be buying this set.
Yeah, all right. Well, good. We'll head over to your channel straight after this. Jay has left the link in the description, and I have added Jay's YouTube channel already into the description of this live. And he's gone. Didn't even say bye. That's how rude he is. He does his promotion and buggers off, and now he's got to go food shopping because he's too busy to entertain us. So, like I said, we are basically going up against 20,000 people that are watching the Enterprise. Hello and good afternoon, evening to everybody. So John says he's been watching it and it's blah, blah, blah. Take my money. It's $400. Sugar Brick says, hi, John. And I've said hello to everybody else. And the poll is running as well. So let's take a look at the poll. There's Jay. He's on the screen. He wishes everybody a thank you all. So yes, we've covered it. We'll go back to it after. We'll go into the Ninjago stuff now, and then we'll go back, because I am very, very intrigued to see how these votes are coming in. The votes are flying in now, so we are doing well. Thank you very much to anybody that has liked this video as well. Hopefully the likes catch up with the votes, because we're 14-3, which is a little bit disappointing. But Ninjago is 21%, the Star Trek is 29%, and the New Year, all three of those sets are 36, and the Iron Man Collector's Edition is at 14, which basically means there is something for everybody, which is great. So if you don't like this, you can get something else. It's going to be hard, I think, for a couple of people if the standard of sets are going to be really strong next year with different scales, for people not to try and buy too much. Hopefully people can stay strong, and we'll keep motivating each other to stay strong. But like we were saying before, the giveaway purchase that is included within this set might make a lot of people get this day one, because the giveaway looks very, very good as a standalone ship, let alone the fact that it has the characters and minifigures of what it does. All those prints, I think, look very, very good indeed. And yes, we have just covered all of this with Jay. And I will do a separate video as well, just isolating this. So if you've missed the live stream and you, for whatever reason, can't watch it back because it's uploading, there will be another video coming shortly. It's a bit weird with regards to the colouring, because it looks very, very light there, whereas on the box it looks a little bit darker. I think they've used the worst photo they possibly can for the box artwork. That's the only thing I would say. I wouldn't have used the box artwork picture at the front like that. I would have had the one a little bit further. I'd have the one that was flat, because I think that one doesn't look anywhere near as good as that one. That's it. I'm not a designer, but that's what I'm saying with regards to that. I think with regards to the photos, I probably would have picked that one, because I think that just makes it look very, very clean and very, very nice. But We'll jump back over to those minifigures. I'll carry on looking at the chat as well, and obviously we'll keep up because I would, depending on how long the live stream is going on for, we might get people jump off the live stream after, but you know, it is what it is. I don't know what they're going on with regards to that. I did catch the first sort of 15, 20 minutes. And then, yeah, me and Jay went live. We went a little bit early because he is the busiest man in YouTube at the moment. I cannot wait to go through this set with you. I think that is a beautiful looking thing and it's a good price point. The minifigures are fantastic. It ticks all the boxes. But this is where we're at. We're about to click on the minifigures for this one because I was saying that these have been around for a long, long time. Now, with regards to them just being a Legoland exclusive, they are now no longer a Legoland exclusive and they haven't been for the last few years. But previous years, it's interesting to see how they've changed because when they were exclusive to Legoland parks, they were more Lego City scale buildings, which were beautiful, with tons of minifigures with, and they would release 2 sets. Now they seem to be releasing 3 sets, but completely different things. And of course, these are literally probably a 10, 11-month turnaround, and then that's it because we get the ones next year. John is waiting to see the modular. Yes, will this modular be super, super detailed on the inside and be different to all of the others? Will the rooms be bigger? I'm now intrigued to see how 2026 is going to go because I was encouraged by the Marvel announcements with regards to what demographic they're aiming it at, like we spoke about before, and they've also priced it to that demographic as well. And then they've come straight out the bat with a Ninjago 15th year anniversary, which we'll tuck into in a second. And they've ticked the boxes with that one as well. And obviously, if you are a big fan of these, it looks great with regards to a build. It's not everybody's cup of tea. I understand that. But this is a regional set, which they've now let out to the masses. And it does allow you to pick these up. Easiest place to get these in the UK. They're on show in London Lego store. They're on show in the much larger stores and in every single Legoland park. But ask your members of staff at your local Lego store because they will have these at the back. So they don't show everything all of the time. But this is what I mean with regards to these figures. Because I think the big one and the small one, I'm going to click on this and go back down, is a first-time print for those. So you've got a new print on that one, a new print on that one. I think it's the first time they've done potentially father and son matching jackets. You then have a really nice, more of a snowy one, more of a Christmassy one. Obviously, the generic suit. And then I think his is a first-time print as well. So they do look good. So if we're going to be getting... We've had new part usage in the Star Trek, and it looks like we're getting new minifigures in these as well. It'll be very, very interesting. And obviously, John, being super enthusiastic, has thrown it out there saying, betting the new modular is smaller, more tiny detailed and more expensive. Yeah, probably. The one set that you're most looking forward to is the one that is going to absolutely screw you over. But yeah, that one I think is going to be... That's the one I think the adult collectors are really looking forward to, aren't they? I think that's the one, especially now it's coming back out, I would imagine on the 1st of January, because that's how it has done in previous. They tried it differently last time, so you could build it over Christmas. But I think that would have been a lot of people's go-to set to start with. But with all of these bits and pieces coming out as well, I mean, as a build, I think this would be great. It's obviously a smaller thing. They always use smaller pieces in the Ninjago sets. Now, if you're not a Ninjago fan and you have no idea what I am talking about, there is going to be 7 15th anniversary sets released over 2026. Now, I can only assume that we are going to get 7 first-time ever minifigures from the TV show, because we have got all the way down here a brand new minifigure that they have never done. Now, bearing in mind the TV show has been out obviously for 15 years, it's the first time they've ever done that. Now, as we come down, if you don't believe me, he is an elemental master. And as we come down, I think it's the Earth. There we go. Yeah, elemental master of Earth is who this one is. So for the first time, a collectible elemental master of Earth, which then you have then got to think of the Ninjago set that is out currently, which is the Temple of Tournament, which the Temple of Tournament is all about. I think it's Temple of Tournament is all about elemental warriors going against each other. And one of the little sets is retiring this year, where you've got all of the other elemental masters in. So are we going to be getting all of the older elemental masters that kind of went away because you didn't really know who they were to start with? But with regards to the look of this build, if every single set is going to look this nice on this scale, I think it might be rather smart, because again, with regards to the price point, the piece count and everything else, for a Ninjago set, it ticks all of the boxes. As I mentioned in your video, there weren't the 4 weapons forged by K as a Dragon Armor in season 10. Only to be, So basically, you've got the map, haven't you, in this one? So let's go all the way to the beginning. So this is the first ever episode from series 1, episode 1. And everybody talks about Lloyd, who is the Green Ninja, being the top dog and everything else, but actually Kai was extremely important. Now, the one in red is Kai's sister, who does become the elemental power of water, but that is mum and that is dad. Now, these 2 figures have been used once before in a different detailed set, and it did look very, very, very good. Now, as we come round and it comes through, we have here all of the locations of the different elements. Now, what this is how it all kicks off. So what Trickle Bricks is asking, he says, as I mentioned in your video, weren't the 4 weapons forged by Kai from the Dragon's armor in season 10 to defeat Ion? Or were there 4 weapons in the first season as well? So I think, from what I can gather, it's different weapons. Obviously, by season 10, they have their elemental powers, don't they? Where they're fire and ice and all of that kind of thing. In the first season, the weapons is the thing that produces their elemental power, and then they become one with the weapons, because there is an episode where, again, with Lloyd, and they all stand around in that chamber, and I can't remember what season that is. They all get given their elemental powers from non-weapon form, if that makes sense. And then I think later on in series 10, what they have to do is they then have to forge different weapons to then be able to beat the different people. So they've got their own elemental powers, and then they've got the other weapons as well, from what I can remember, because they would have had their elemental powers already by series 10, I think. And hello, 1980s Pirates. Good afternoon from Atlanta, Georgia. Hopefully you're good. You clock in at 1:45, and I'm working until 12:30. That is rough. But are you a fan of the new Starship Enterprise? Are you a fan of Star Trek? Are you a fan of anything that we're looking at very, very quickly now? It'd be interesting to see. So yeah, it'd be very, very, very interesting to see what's going on with regards to everything that's coming out further down. He was, Kai thought he was the chosen one for the first few episodes. That is very, very true. And then it kind of snowballs that he realizes that he isn't actually the Green Ninja because he thinks he is the one, and he isn't, which is it's good. But of course, the new Rising Dragon show is just as amazing. Well, I think it's better, to be fair. So you can watch it all the way from the beginning. But these elemental, what I was getting at is these elemental characters, especially this one, isn't going to be, is obviously not included in the new TV show yet because it's the new show, but you could add and mix and match between the two. So this has lots of detail on it. The one thing I do like is this little sign. I said this before. I think for me, as a little set in a theme park setting, you can just have that sign. I think it does look smart enough. The building, let's be honest, last year the Ninjago stuff was probably one of the, this year, for actual detailed builds with a little waterfall, because that came out last January. They always seem to go really strong on Ninjago, and they haven't disappointed yet up until the Ninjago workshop, and I did cry a little bit inside. But yes, if they are going to do all of these sets under the Legacy range, because Legacy is backtracking the bits and pieces, I'm assuming they're going to be releasing stuff along the lines, with the other Dragons Rising stuff as well. But where's the box? Does it say 7 to collect? So mum, dad, he forges. There's the map. gets it from father, goes on a mission. They do go back to this much later on and try and rectify some bits and pieces they might have done wrong. Again, it's not the biggest thing in hand, but it's got lots and lots of detail to it, because that's what Ninjago is known for. They're much more detailed builds. So where does it say? So it must be the last photo. There it is. So yeah, you've got 7 of them to collect. Now, this is what we were talking about in one of the other live streams a while back. That sorry, it's all right, Kenneth. Don't worry, it's all right. Maybe YouTube just thought, well, you know what we're going to do, Kenneth? We're just going to change your name to 1980s Pirate, and that's what you're might be known by from now on. So when they did the Fan Media Day a long time ago, and all the images have been coming up from that, there was a thing. I thought there was originally 5 of them, but clearly there's going to be 7 of them, where they were all clear minifigures and they gave nothing away. So I can only assume that we are going to get 7 first time in the line minifigures in each set, which, to be fair, is much better than the 10th anniversary, because the 10th anniversary was just collecting the golden minifigures. So this does make it a little bit different, because they're not going to redo this set, because obviously of what it is. They would have done this ages ago, in the last 15 years, and the legacy line is going back to some of those older sets and making them more cost effective for people. Because as we know, secondhand Lego, when it gets retired, certain things are very, very expensive. So it'd be interesting to see how that works down the line. Now, let's have a quick look at the poll. What is going on with it? What are we talking? Star Trek has now gone back up to 37%. The Ninjago's down to 21. New Year's set's up to 26. And the Iron Man edition is 16. I think this is the most votes I think I've ever had in a poll so far in such a short period of time, which is great. So what do we think? What is your favourite one? Let us know. Just let a comment before we start to wrap things up. I'll wrap things up on the hour. I don't want to waffle on and carry on about different bits and pieces that we don't need to. But I think we've covered all the basics from the sets that have come out today, and it's always nice to do a new announcement live. Like I said, I will do a standalone video as well, just going over everything in a little bit of detail that I can possibly do, because I know that this doesn't render and it takes a long time to do it. But that's what it is. Black Friday. This is what all the fuss has been about. This is what's going to be coming. You might like it, you might not. Is it going to be a new line of things, do we think? Or is this just a one and done? Because would you like them to do another ship next year? Live streams now show your @ and not your name. There we go. Oh, that makes sense. There we go. Fair enough. So you can, I'm assuming you can probably just change that in your actual settings. But yeah, luckily I've got @ and @ for the both of the same, so I don't really mind too much. But yeah, that's what I thought it was, Truckle Bricks anyway. So let's just go over this for a quick sort of recap to end things off, and I will see if I can spot anything new that I would have missed with Jay. So 9 minifigures. Are we happy with those 9? In fact, we'll do the giveaway as well. So all 9 minifigures. Are you happy with the minifigures that have come out in this, or would you have liked to get somebody different? Are you happy with this giveaway, and are you happy with her? That's the key things. I think you can't. It's missing one person, but she was only in it for not even the whole season of Series 1, so we can't really go too much. And of course, if we had her in, then Wolf would have had to have been in a different coloured top. So it's a chain reaction of lots of different bits and pieces, isn't it? It'd be, again, once I look at the live stream that they've done, and if they've gone over everything with regards to all of the detailing and everything, I don't think any of this removes. The dish itself obviously comes off, and it leaves a nice sort of silhouette at the back. You had all the elements up on the front, and you've got the engines and all those different little bits and pieces. So I will re-watch the rest of the live stream before I do my little video, in case I do pick up any of the details. Size-wise, it's good. It's 2 and a bit base plates, so it's going to be in proportion, I think, with some of the Star Wars stuff. Obviously, they could have done this at a U.S.S scale, but that would have been a massive price point as well. So, yeah, as we know, it's down to just under 10 pence a brick. Yeah, that's it. She could have been a different character. They have put an Easter egg in the thing, which I'm sure they would have talked about on the live stream with regards to what that sticker is all to do with and why they chose that sticker. I would actually like to think that the Warbird might be an Easter egg to a ship that will be coming next year. I think that would be brilliant if they did that and they kept the ships from this next generation to start with. I think we could get a couple of them, and then they might do the original Star Trek ship a couple of years down the line. Because the only thing I can think of is that link is only in one episode. So I was saying to Jay that it could, that's the link to it and whatever else. But also, is it an Easter egg of sign of things to come? Because I don't understand why, of all of the ships that they could have used, they've used an enemy's ship rather than them locking on to their own Enterprise for docking. So what I'm going on about is that little Warbird just on the inside, just there. And there's a couple of different options that they could have done with regards to the line. It's the Romulan, isn't it? It's the Romulan fleet, and they could have done some different bits and pieces with it. So do you think we might get something, or am I just looking into this far too much? But yeah, it'll be nice to see what happens and what the future holds. But guys, that is just a little live stream from me and Jay. Thank you very much again to Mr. Joe's Toy Collection UK for jumping on. I'm now going to painfully watch the live stream from the Lego group, write down and make some notes of different bits and pieces, and then try and go back through the Enterprise in a little bit more detail in a obviously separate upload that will be coming this evening. Yes, there we go. John has said it. So Jay said they might do an actual diorama of the bridge. So what they could do, and it'd be naughty, but they could give us the original bridge as a diorama cheaper if they only added in one or two of the minifigures, because these minifigures are only on a stand. So if you're going to get this in the diorama, you could just use the minifigures from that and actually have them in as a diorama. Because I know some people aren't fussed by the figures, but if you're getting a diorama, like that thing up there, for example, you need all the minifigures to fill it. But they could give us a redo the crew, because, well, they wouldn't do all of those, obviously. They would just do, they might still give us Bev, but Whoopi Goldberg would go. The little turd of a son would disappear as well, so they wouldn't do those, but they could. She obviously wouldn't be in that either. But out of the minifigures that would, now they could just reprint as many of those torsos that they want to. They have got the opportunity to give us the core group, which is basically worst case scenario. It's those. So it's those 6. Mine, and you probably wouldn't get the accessories with it either, because they've just given us accessories throughout everything over those years. But they could do from the original 60s. Yeah, well, that is another point. I think what they could do is they could do the original 60s ship, because this ship took 11 months to design. So I would imagine they're already in the design process of doing something else. They've got 2 ways of doing it, haven't they? They give us the old ship, and then we got both with the crew. They could just do a diorama they could just repeat everything. So if this year they gave us a diorama of a bridge of this one, they could then just do another Enterprise with an exactly the same sort of scenario of this one. It would be quite cool to have Scotty and obviously Kirk and everybody else. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see what way they do go down, because John is talking about the original crew from the 60s. Again, the longevity of that show and obviously how it links on into this, it could open up just from just the 2 Star Treks, not getting carried away with any of the others. There's a lot of ships that they could do with regards to villainous ships as well, all in this sort of scale. And if it's just one a year, but like what they've been doing with the Lord of the Rings, and it doesn't get swamped and flooded like the Star Wars stuff, I think people might want the thing. But John says he wants I want the original bridge and crew from the 60s. So would you want it just as a big diorama, or would you want it inside the actual Enterprise from the 60s? I would probably think they would just do this thing and have the crew underneath if it was the ship. But if it is just the bridge as a diorama you want, well, they've got options for this year coming if that's the thing that they might do. Or they might just stick to one ship and be done with it. But guys, a big diorama, yeah, I think so. I think that would be good. But I'm going to wrap this up. listen to the live stream, there will be a live build at some point tomorrow. What time that is yet, I do not know. And then we will do a marathon build again on the Sunday because, well, we've got lots of stuff to build, lots of stuff to get on with, especially with the Ninjago nonsense that I'm tucking into at the moment. So if you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, that'd be absolutely fantastic. You guys can go say goodbye to each other in the actual chat. Everybody that is in the background, thank you very much for watching as well. Don't forget to like the video because YouTube thinks I'm more popular than what I actually am. But yeah, basic overall, the giveaway is extremely important. They've done everything they can to sell this with regards to actually adding 22 photos, which is unheard of in this day and age. I still think they've used one of the worst photos possible for the box artwork. Like I said, I didn't want that photo. I wanted that one, because I think that gives the depth, like Jay was saying, and they have done as good a job as possible with all the curvature and things like that. So again, listen to the live stream and the reason for the windowing and all that kind of thing. You now know what they've done. They've added in the greenhouse at the back, and they've added other little bits and pieces as well. You can see the removable attachments with the 2 shuttles just at the top. Great selection of minifigures. Again, potentially could have kicked one off and brought a different one in, but they've given us the figures that are used in all the films, aren't they? That's what they've done, I think. So yeah, they've got the longevity throughout the whole show with those in. Again, 23.5 length by 10.5 tall. Looks great in hand with regards to the girth of the dish. I think it ticks the boxes. I think you've got to be as happy as you can with it. Yes, there are other companies that will be going against it, but I think the back end of this, how smooth it is, it does look very, very effective indeed. So, guys, again, thank you very much for watching. I'll catch everybody on the next one. I will just actually end the poll. Star Trek takes it. With 20 votes in, Star Trek is at 40, Ninjago at 20, 25 and 15 as it falls through. So, yes, I don't blame anybody. You're not, I don't think you're wrong with what you're most excited about. You can't be wrong by that. But, yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm very excited for what other sets are going to be coming for the 15th anniversary, because I thought we were going to get one big one, but clearly we're not. Right, guys, take it easy, everybody. John, good evening, goodbye, and morning, afternoon, lunchtime to you. Enjoy your evening, Sugar Bricks. Enjoy everything that you guys and girls are going to be doing this evening. And if you are going to be building anything, I will be uploading another video on this in the next hour or two with me doing a proper deep dive for myself because of how the algorithm works. And yeah, you take care, and I'll catch everybody on the next video. Bye, bye, bye.